The need is a way for the primary surgeon to have direct control of visualizing the surgical field during laparoscopic surgery to reduce operative time. Going into the brainstorming, it's a bit difficult because it's like trying to dive into the ocean. So how we approached it was to have a look at our need and then think about, okay, what's the problem here? What are the problems that we can distill the need down to? And we identified 4 types of problems, which is poor visualization, surgeon comfort, operation time, and miscommunication between surgeon and the person holding the camera. And from these 4 problems, we then brainstorm solutions for this.
In brainstorming, you really want to have a lot of concepts and then filtering down later on.
This is how the layout of our first round of brainstorming looks like. And then the next problem is how do we organize, how do we group these concepts so that we can have a better view of what's missing and what is overcrowded, and how do we select our top concepts. After doing the brainstorming, we started using a software called XMind to sort of digitalize all the concepts and group them in a more systematic way. And as you can see here, this software is very clear, very straightforward to use, very simple and easy to use, and it's also free. You can see it's the same thing, the 4 groups of problems that currently are being faced, and then we have all these concepts explained in a short, simple term. And the main purpose of doing this step is to identify the gap. So to help us better do the gap analysis, we actually use an alternative approach to group all the concepts together. So as you can see here, instead of focusing on the problem, we actually, for this approach, we focus on the different mode of actions to tackle the problem. So one way is communication and human factors, better controlling and imaging. So all these concepts are the same as the previous approach. We just sort of like place them in a different ways, arrange them in different ways to help us to better spot the gap.
I think a big part of the whole process of doing this, changing how the mind map is organized, is really to allow us to go for quantity, because that's what we really want to go for in the brainstorming process before we start the filtering.
And another way is sort of to have a better way to select the most interesting, most feasible concepts. So there are many ways to play around with this software, and you can see that some of the concepts actually falls in more than one categories, like the foot pedal or the Google Glass concepts, for example. They fall under both the surgeon discomfort as well as the operation time. And by doing this linkage, by adding these relationships, we can see, oh, these are actually the concepts that can solve more than one problem at the same time, and we'll pay more attention to this.
We then go again back to our needs specification that we drafted to look at the concepts and see which ones actually meet the must-haves, because that's the key part of the needs specification. So for example, we have wireless streaming as one of our concepts that we thought of. This really meets the must-haves, which is the hands-free and easy to control specifications that we have in our initial needs specifications. So really, again, using this criteria, we narrow down the amount of concepts that we can then proceed to work on.
So having a systematic approach really helps you manage this concept filtering in a very objective way, because you don't want to bring forward concepts in a blind way just because you like it. You want concepts to move forward because they're feasible, because they meet your needs criteria. So you want to make it less painful for yourself, so managing this in an objective way really helps.